Is there anything a seeker has to ask for, or does everything happen on its own? Everything happens on its own. But a seeker has to be alert not to miss the train. The train comes on its own, but you have to be alert. All around you so much is happening in 24 hours. Awake or asleep, you have to be watchful of what is happening. And the more you are alert, you will be surprised. The same things are happening that were happening before. But the meaning has changed. The significance is different. The rose flower is the same rose, but now it is radiant. Surrounded by some new energy that you were not aware of before, a new beauty. It seems that you used to see only the outer side of the rose. Now you are able to see its inner world. You used to look at the palace from the outside. Now you have entered its innermost chambers. You have seen the moon hundreds of times. But when you see it silently, peacefully, meditatively, you become aware of a beauty that you were not aware of before. A beauty that is not ordinarily available. A beauty for which you need to grow some insight. And in silence, in peace, that insight grows. It happened, a very significant incident. One of the Indian poets, Rabindranath Tagore, translated one of his small books of poems, Gitanjali, Offering of Songs. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for that small book. In India, it was available for at least 15 years. But unless a book meets the international standards of language and gains international appreciation, it is difficult for it to get a Nobel Prize. Rabindranath himself was a little worried, because he translated it. And to translate poetry is always a very difficult affair. To translate prose is simple. To translate poetry is immensely difficult, because prose is of the marketplace. And poetry is something of the world of love, of the world of beauty, of the world of moon and stars. It is a delicate affair. And every language has its own nuances that are almost untranslatable. So although the poet himself translated his own poetry, he was doubtful about the translation. He showed it to one of the Christian missionaries, a very famous man of those days, C.F. Andrews. A very literate, cultured, sophisticated man. Andrews suggested 4 changes. He said, everything else is right. But in 4 places it is not grammatically correct. So Rabindranath simply accepted his advice and changed those 4 places. His friend, the Irish poet Yeats, called together a meeting in London of English poets to hear Rabindranath's translation. Everybody appreciated it. The beauty of it was something absolutely new to the Western world. But Yeats, who was the most prominent poet of England in those days, said, everything else is right, but 4 places. It seems that somebody who is not poet has made some changes. Rabindranath could not believe it. He said, where are those 4 places? Yeats pointed out the 4 places that Rabindranath had changed. Following the advice of C.F. Andrews, Rabindranath said, what is wrong with those lines? Yeats said, there is nothing wrong, they are grammatically correct. But poetically, whoever suggested them is a man who knows his grammar but does not know poetry. He is a man of the mind but not a man of the heart. The flow is obstructed, as if a river had come across a rock. Rabindranath told him, I had asked C.F. Andrews to look at it. These are his words. I will tell you the words that I had in these places before. And when he put his words in, Yeats said, they are perfectly right, although grammatically wrong. But grammar is not important. When it is a question of poetry, grammar is not important. You change it back, and use your own words. I have always thought that there are ways of the mind. And there are ways of the heart. They need not be supportive of each other. And if it happens that the mind is not in agreement with the heart, then the mind is wrong. Its agreement or disagreement does not matter. What matters is that your heart feels at ease, peaceful, silent, harmonious, at home. We are trained for the mind, so our mind is very articulate. And nobody takes any notice of the heart. In fact, it is pushed aside by everybody. Because it is of no use in the marketplace. It is no use in the world of ambitions, no use in politics, no use in business. But with me, the situation is just the opposite. The mind is of no use. The heart knows best. Everything happens, just your heart has to be ready to receive it. Everything comes, but if your heart is closed. The secret laws of life are such that the doors of your heart will not even be knocked upon. Existence knows how to wait. It can wait for eternity. It all depends on you. Everything is ready to happen any moment. Just open all your doors, all your windows, so that existence can pour into you from every side. There is no other God than existence. And there is no other paradise than your very being. When existence pours into your being, paradise has entered into you, or you have entered into paradise. Just different ways of saying the same thing. But remember, nothing is expected of you. All the religions have been telling you for centuries that you have to do this. You have to do that. That you have to be a torturer of yourself. You have to renounce pleasures, you have to fight with your body, you have to renounce the world. The Buddhist scriptures have 33,000 principles that a seeker should follow. It is almost impossible to remember them. Following them is out of the question. I don't have a single principle for you to follow. Just a simple understanding that it is your life. Enjoy it, allow it to sing a song in you, allow it to become a dance in you. You have nothing else to do but simply to be available, and flowers are going to shower on you.